everybody. We are with District 3 County Commissioner Abby Thompson. Hi. And we are loving the rain, but there are some announcements whenever we have heavy rains all throughout the county.
Yes. So first of all, I do want to thank God for the rain. We absolutely needed it. However, if you see barricades, cones, signs, please do not drive through them. You don't know what's on the other side. That's why we send our guys out to check on the roads, bridges, etc., and put the barricades up. So please don't drive through them.
Yes. Well, and this is a great announcement because all throughout our rural communities, we may be confused with construction and all of this. So please do not go around the barricades, and you heard it here first. Stay safe, you guys. And again, thank you, God, for this rain.
Yes, bye.
Our beef is exclusively available at the Monk's Marketplace. Taste the difference that care and quality make, and visit our serene landscape to pick up your perfect cut.
On Benedict Street, Hardesty's Market and Deli is your go-to for all your local meat needs. It's also the perfect spot for lunch, offering your favorite local sandwiches, dips, sweets, and more. Support locals. Stop by Hardesty's Market and Deli today.
For 50 years, Fred's Tire and Battery has served Central Oklahoma with tires, batteries, and service for cars, trucks, and tractors. Friendly and affordable, with 2 locations in Shawnee. Fred's Tire and Battery, a name you can trust.
Gordon Cooper Technology Center has trade classes for all ages. These programs are not just for our high school students, they are for all ages, and you have the opportunity to get further educated within our community and pick up a trade skill today at Gordon Cooper Technology Center.
A lot of people don't know we started Eric's Pharmacy in 1995. So we've been going strong for over 29 years. We had a chance to spruce things up, put in new flooring, new shelving, and it really came together beautifully. We invite everyone to come by and take a look.
Castor Key Auto Mart, online or in person. Castor Key Auto Mart. They're good people to deal with.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Shawnee Lady Wolves Volleyball. This is our first broadcast of Shawnee Lady Wolves Volleyball. I'm Britton Buss. Joined with me today is Craig Case, the head volleyball coach of the St. Gregory's Cavaliers.
Located in Shawnee.
Located in Shawnee, that's right. Coach Case, is that what you want me to call you, Coach Case?
That's
Coach Case. Perfect. Coach Case, set us up what we'll be doing tonight, kind of for everyone watching at home that maybe hadn't seen volleyball before. What are we going to be watching?
Well, we're just going to be watching a pretty high-paced, action-filled match between Carl Albert and Shawnee. We're just going to kind of wait and see how things go. I'm going to do the play-by-play, and I'll try to explain some of the things going on to those watching at home.
Great, Coach. Kind of explain for us how we're going to be setting up. I mean, start basic. How many players will be on the court at one time? How many games are we going to play? What are we playing to? Set us up just the basics.
All right, we're going to go 6-on-6. Playing to 25, no higher than 30. You got to win by 2. And then if we do go to a game 5, we'll end up playing to 15.
Okay, so we go to 25 in the first 4 games. Is this kind of, are we playing here where, like I see when I watch volleyball on television, it seems like every time I watch it, you've got to serve to get the point?
Yeah, we're going rally scoring. So every time there's a point, or every time there's a serve, somebody has to get a point.
So you don't have to serve to get the point. Every play, every series of hits is a point for somebody.
Yeah, and now you'll see number 13 coming onto the court for Shawnee. She's what they call a libero or libero, and she's basically a defensive player only. She cannot serve and she cannot attack in the front row, and the front row is anything in front of that yellow line.
Say that one more time.
The libero or libero. And it doesn't appear that Carl Albert's going to use the libero, but Shawnee's using number 13, Kristen Bonner.
So can she play that position the entire game? Does she have to rotate out?
She'll play the game almost the whole game. She cannot serve though, so when she goes in, she has to wait to go in for the person that's serving in her rotation.
So she's going to play the back row the entire time.
The entire time, yeah, correct. Well, right there, I think Shawnee really got caught in transition, and by transition I mean you're bringing your setter out of the back row, and you're just trying to make some different things happen. So that tends to happen a lot when a game gets moving real fast.
So the strategy of Carl Albert necessarily, or Shawnee, isn't to always pound the ball. You're not trying to spike the ball every time. There is a little bit of touch. There's some placement that goes on in high school volleyball.
Yeah, one of the things you really try to get players to learn how to do is hit the ball smarter, not harder. And I think the exciting thing for volleyball is really hitting the ball hard. So it's tough to teach that sometimes. But that last point, number 3, got a kill and a nice shot, and that kind of led to a lot of good things there. Tell you what, Carl Albert responded pretty well there, being out of system on Susie Watson's serve with a pretty aggressive hit. But if Shawnee can serve like that all night, they're going to be good. Carl Albert's Brittany Walker has service there, which puts it at 2-2. Catherine McQuarrie, senior, back to serve. That ball's in. That's a Carl Albert point.
So tell me a little bit about the serve. What's the strategy on the serve?
Well, you want to get your opponent out of system. And what out of system means is that your setter can't set the ball from the front row where she wants to. And right now Shawnee's been out of system a few times, but Mackenzie Sparkman, number 7, has done a pretty good job of getting some good balls for her hitters to hit. Megan Williamson with the ace.
That's an ace. Tell me a little bit about substitutions. We just saw somebody sub out. When can you sub?
You can sub any time. You have a limited amount of substitutions for your team during the game, but you can only sub in for the same person that you can only sub out for the same person you subbed in for. Kristen Bonner with a great pass.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with the next point as we go to a word from our sponsors. When we come back, Carl Albert will be serving.
Relive the memories of tonight's game or any game shown right here on ShawneeCTV. Call 213-1933. That's 213-1933 for your DVD today. ShawneeCTV welcomes Allegiance Communications as a title sponsor for these high school sports broadcasts. Allegiance Communications, our new cable television and internet services provider. Harvey's Chevrolet, Cadillac, and GMC has a great selection on the lot, both new and used cars, and always Harvey's is the first to step up to help in the community and support area athletics. Since 1975, the Clinic Pharmacy has been our community's trusted source for great service. The informative staff is always ready to help with your prescription needs. The Clinic Pharmacy, working hard to improve your quality of life.
Tell you, Britton, Mackenzie Sparkman's done a nice job at the net in being aggressive and being pretty smart. That last play there, she took an overpass ball and just kind of finished it rather than setting it.
So the goal is not to always hit it 3 times. The maximum you can hit is 3 times per side.
Yeah, correct.
But sometimes it's good to tap it over when maybe the other team isn't quite expecting it.
Yeah. A lot of, you've got some setters that are really attacking setters, and you've got some setters that are a little more traditional. And Sparkman's done a nice job of mixing that up between the two of them.
Tell me a little bit about what they're doing. You can kind of see here on the screen. It's hard to tell, but we've got 3 girls bunched up right together at net. Why do they start out like that?
Because you're playing positions. You play left, middle, or right. And as you go around the court, you have to stay in rotation. What that means is as your team's rotating to serve, you have to move with your team. And what's happening is those players are in, for example, the front right, and they have to get over to front left. And so as soon as the ball is served, they can go play wherever they want.
So you're basically starting out as close as to where you want to be once the point starts.
Correct.
You're staying in position, but then you're spreading out and going to where you want to be.
Oh, nice block.
And a nice cheer. Nice block and a nice cheer.
Senior Brittany Wise with the big block and starts the big cheer. Right now, Carl Albert, I don't know if they're intending to do it, but they're really going after libero Kristen Bonner. And it hasn't worked so far, but maybe they know something we don't. And, the other thing that you might be noticing is that it doesn't matter where number 7, Mackenzie Sparkman is. She's always going to set, whether she's front row, back row, it doesn't matter.
Well, I saw that in practice. She was the one setting everyone in practice as they were going through, hitting the ball. I thought that she looked like that might be a talent.
Yeah. And now the ball is allowed to hit the net and cross over. That's not out of bounds at all. Carl Albert, number 10, J.C. Moore with an ace.
What's the score here, Coach? 9-8. Carl Albert leading 9-8, I believe.
I believe so.
So really with the rally point scoring, there's no, is there a true advantage of being the server, setting the pace for the point?
Well, sometimes it can hurt you. If you're a poor serving team and, you side out and go back to serve and have a service every time, that's a point for the other team. So sometimes it can be a disadvantage now to have it rally scoring.
It makes for a quick game, though, that's for sure.
It does. And I think it's more fun to watch with that scoring. Clearly the most important part of any volleyball match is the serving and receiving. If your team can serve and receive, you can play with anybody. Whether or not you're going to beat them, that's kind of up to luck, I think, sometimes.
Now, what was that, Coach? That was kind of looked like a quick set, almost like trying to catch somebody off guard.
Yeah, you got to have tempos in setting. Your slow tempos, medium tempos, high tempos. A lot of times your really quick tempos are they're gonna work in the middle really well. Whereas you might need to slow things down to get to the outside.
So they're just trying to catch the blockers off guard.
Yeah, you want to beat your blocker. Number 3, senior Catherine McQuarrie with a big swing there. She's already got 1 or 2 kills, and by the looks of that swing, she might be going for 10 or 15 tonight. Coach Wack doesn't really like what she sees right now. She's going to bring him in and try to put it together.
All right. Well, Carl Albert Titans lead the Shawnee Lady Wolves 13-9. As they're taking a timeout, we'll take a break and listen to some of our sponsors and what they have to say, and we'll be back with the next point right after this.
ShawneeCTV welcomes Allegiance Communications as a title sponsor for these high school sports broadcasts. Allegiance Communications, our new cable television and internet services provider. Eric Weingartner over at Eric's Pharmacy, great supporter of area high school athletics, and has a great and knowledgeable staff to help you with any of your pharmaceutical needs. Couldn't get any more convenient, right there on Kickapoo. Sonic, and all those great Coca-Cola drinks and products. Sonic, all 4 locations in Shawnee, supports our athletic endeavors. Tower Loans at 21 West Main Street. Get in and let Tower Loans help you in those times of hard times. Up to $750, 8 months to pay it back. That's Tower Loans.
Carl Elbert, number 7. Elise Davis back to serve.
Now it looks like, sorry to interrupt, Coach,
No,
but
go
it
ahead.
looks like they have in the libero.
Libero.
Or
libero.
So close.
It
so
depends
close.
who you ask. Sophomore Susie Wasson had that last serve receive. Pretty nice. Again with the serve receive. Shawnee's going to start out of the system. Oh, that ball's in. That's one of those.
Wow.
That's one of those luck plays I think we were talking about a little earlier.
I think so. That looked like just a reaction, not to get hit in the face. Put the hand up, and it ends up falling in.
A lot of times that's how you get your kills. McKenzie's going to free ball over, and she's going to get a free ball kill. And what a free ball is basically you're just sending the ball over to the other team to do whatever they want with it because you're out of your contacts. And
so does that necessarily put you at a disadvantage? It seemed like that time the free ball hit where nobody was, and we got a point out of it. But it seems like also that you don't have the speed and the momentum of the ball catching the other team off guard. It just kind of. Is it just kind of a luck deal?
Yeah, if you get a free ball kill, you're living the right way, I think.
All right. Somebody's smiling on you, huh?
There's a reason it's called a free ball. It typically is it's a free play for the other team. Right here, Shawnee's trying to fight back in behind the serve of sophomore Susie Wasson.
Shawnee's down 12-15 in a game to 25.
Wasson's going to serve wide. Side out, Carl Albert serve. Number 6, junior Chelsea Ball coming in for Wasson. With Brittany Walker back to serve for Carl Elbert and the Lady Titans. Ball with the receive. Number 3.
Nice.
Catherine
That fell
McQuarrie
in.
with the nice kill.
There's a shot of Coach Wack, the head coach, in her second year here, I believe.
Correct. McQuarrie back to serve. Real nice aggressive serve there from
If you
McQuarrie.
ask me, that looked pretty tough.
Yeah.
Great point.
Right now, Megan Williamson, I think, is connected on her last 3 swings for kills. And while she's getting touched at the net, she's still able to use the block, is what we call it, and get some kills out of that.
Shawnee trying to make a comeback, down 14-16.
Another nice serve
That
from
is a nice
McQuarrie.
serve. Down low at the feet, that's got to be tough.
Yeah, that's a tough serve to handle.
So is it just me, or is she putting maybe a little bit of backspin on that serve as well?
Well, top spin, actually. She's
Top
trying to
spin.
get the ball to roll down to the ground a little bit quicker.
So try to help it just get that rolling motion to go down and hit the feet of those people on the back row.
Correct. Oh, that's a nice ace right there. McQuarrie's doing a nice
high five, I guess.
McQuarrie's doing a nice job of getting the Wolves back in. And is it tied now?
16-16. We are 16, knotted at 16.
Oh, first team to 9 at this point. And that's almost 2 aces in a row. Williamson back up to McKenzie.
Wow.
Right back to Williamson, kind of the volleyball version of give and go.
That's kind of, I'm saying that she's the go-to person right now.
She's
Kind of on fire, I guess.
Red
you'd
hot.
say.
And Coach Allison Silviera from the Titans doesn't like what she sees now, and she's going to call a timeout.
I can't blame them. With Shawnee leading 17-16, once again during this timeout, we'll take a break to listen from our sponsors, and we'll be back with the rest of the first game right after this.
ShawneeCTV introduces Video Dan's TV auction on Channel 99 every night, 6 p.m. till midnight. The Red Cross, United Way, Southern Winds Film Festival, and others will benefit. It's easy. It's fun. Make your bid tonight. You have something for sale? Join in the fun. Call us 275-2155 tonight. Video Dance TV auction. Make a bid. It's easy on ShawneeCTV. Fred's Tire and Battery. They're not just tires anymore. They can help you with alignments or brakes, or of course tires, batteries, whatever problem you have. Give Fred's Tire and Battery a call. Chris Anthony over at Steve's Body Shop does a great job. Of course, always offers a lifetime warranty on all the work. That's over at Steve's Body Shop right there on Kickapoo Spur.
Based on momentum and kind of swings in the game.
Some streakiness.
Very streaky sport. Oh, Williamson with a nice touch up at the net now. The Wolves should be in system here. They're going to run the ball to Williamson again. She's going to have to tip it over. Nice pickup by setter number 4 for the Titans. Now they're going to go outside. Oh, that's a nice swing. Katie Holland, another sophomore. And what you saw there was the whole defense really adjusting to Williamson. So they ran it at Williamson one time, gave her a shot, and said, you can't get a kill? Well, we'll try somebody else. And sure enough, that's another ace by McQuarrie.
She is on fire. That is a serving queen right there.
She's got 2 or 3 aces.
We see Carl Albert put 4 people back now.
Yep.
I believe they figured out that, well, as soon as I start to say that and talk and brag,
yeah. Well,
she hits one in the net. But
what happens there is you want
to
adjust your serve receive, so you make the other team try a different strategy. And a lot of times it works like that, and if anything, it just creates a little bit of a rhythm break.
Carl Albert with a mini comeback of their own, down 18-19.
This is a big point for Shawnee.
This girl's not too shabby on the serve either.
Not at all. Bonner with a nice return. And an off-speed shot by number 6. Brooke Lane for the Titans catches Shawnee off guard.
So what's the key to that? I mean, it looks like I'm watching her. She's right here in front of us. It looks like she's just going to hammer that ball, and all of a sudden it's just got a little spin on it, and it just floats over.
Yeah, you're just trying to get that right over the block in front of the back row defense. Number 2, Katie Holland's going to be in the net. Shawnee, playing some pretty good volleyball right now, just having a couple bad breaks.
Carl Albert on that streakiness we just talked about, leading 20-19 now.
And just rattled off 3 points of their own. Oh, that's a nice swing. And they're going to go to Williamson. Every time Shawnee's in a situation where they need a kill, I think they got to go to Williamson. Now Williamson's going to jump back to serve, and Brittany Wise is going to come in and replace the libero.
Had to wait on that whistle, huh, Coach?
And there we're going with that setter again. If you get a setter that's got an aggressive mindset, you got to defend her. With that, the Titans take a 21-20 lead. Now we're getting down there. We're getting close to 25. Bonner with the service. She's going to overpass. Going to bring it back. Going to go outside number 2 again. The sophomore, she's going to get a credit for a kill on that.
Now, what was that? I missed that.
Carl Albert, one of the Carl Albert players, was in the net.
Okay.
But number 2, Katie Holland, still going to get the kill on that.
So she was in the net. Now, what's the rule on jumping up real high, not touching the net, and putting your hand over the net? Can you break that imaginary barrier?
Yeah, on the third contact, you can cross over as far as you can over the net without touching it. And as soon as you touch it, that's a net violation. And
so what just happened there?
Number 2, Brittany Walker, got caught for a lift on her serve receive, and more or less she kind of had the ball rest on her arms too long.
So that kind of got caught in her upper arms, and that was too much. You got to bump it. You can't hold it like that.
Correct.
That gives Shawnee a 23-21 lead. Need 2 more points to close out game number 1 in the race to 5. Well, in the race to 3, I guess. That's 3 out of 5. My bad.
This is where you start getting a little nervous, and you hope your players play loose. Shawnee's serving so well right now that they're really giving themselves a chance to do some nice things. You saw in that play right there, that's what we call being out of system. Number 4, the setter, Megan Owen, was drawn all the way over to the near sideline and having to set. She essentially had nobody to set to. And that's kind of what you want to get out of your serving. This game point here that she's going to overpass. McQuarrie comes in, picks it up, sets up to McKenzie. McKenzie puts it back for 5. Tides come back. Oh, McKenzie, right, perfect position for the dig and just couldn't make it.
Well, let's see what the Lady Wolves can do. Still up 24-22. Returning serve from Carl Albert. Still have a chance here to close it out. A couple of points to play with here.
Yeah, they'll have a couple game points here.
Okay, I missed that. Is that a redo?
Yeah.
Hit the basketball goal. Basketball goal doesn't count.
There must have been some other whistle, because typically that's not a bounce play for your team. Query up. They're going to go outside to Wasson again. He's going to have a hitting error, but nice aggressive swing. And you want to stay aggressive when you're down towards the end of the game. You want to be smart, but you want to be aggressive.
Want to be able to finish. Now, Shawnee's up 24-23 with another opportunity to close it out. But say Carl Albert comes up with one here. Do you have to win by 2?
You have to win by 2, but the most that this game's going to go to is going to be to 30. So now it's 24s, and it's just the first team to get a 2-point advantage is going to win this, or the team that gets a 30 first.
Okay. Well, let's just see what kind of streak Carl Albert can continue, and hopefully Shawnee can break that.
Nice serve. Oh, nice pass by Wasson. And McKenzie goes for the center dump. He's going to get a kill out of the deal.
Miscommunication there.
Yeah, that's what you want to get out of your second contact if you are going to send it over.
So now we have an opportunity to serve it out for the game number 1.
Sophomore Holland back with the serves. He gets it deep. They're out of system. Back row attack, and that's in the net. That's a hitting error. Game 1, Shawnee.
Game 1 goes to Shawnee. What an exciting game. Shawnee, after a word from our sponsors, we will be back. We're going to switch sides and see game number 2 and see if the Shawnee Lady Wolves can continue doing what they've been doing. Great serving, great. What do you call it? Great attacking at net. Great
being aggressive.
Being aggressive. What better way to put it from Coach Craig Case? Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Shawnee Dry Cleaners and Laundry does great works with all of our clothes. Shawnee Dry Cleaners and Laundry, in at 9, out by 4. That's Shawnee Dry Cleaners and Laundry, right on Independence. Fire Lake Designs, formerly known as D-Graph Sports and Apparel, still does the great quality professional work for all of your banners or embroidery on your uniforms. Use Fire Lake Designs. Sonic, all 4 locations in Shawnee serving great Coca-Cola products, but even better, hamburgers, onion rings, chili dogs, and Frito chili pies. Sounds good? Get by Sonic. ShawneeCTV introduces Video Dan's TV auction on Channel 99 every night, 6 p.m. till midnight. The Red Cross, United Way, Southern Winds Film Festival, and others will benefit. It's easy. It's fun. Make your bid tonight. You have something for sale? Join in the fun. Call us 275-2155 tonight. Video Dan's TV auction. Make a bid. It's easy on ShawneeCTV.
We're back with game number 2. We've got a few moments before it starts. I'm going to give Coach Craig Case of the Cavaliers, St. Gregory's Cavaliers, an opportunity to tell us a little bit about when their program starts and when we can catch some of their volleyball matches.
Well, we just actually started our program up after a couple-year hiatus, if you will, and we just finished our first week of practice, and my players pretty much hate me for how sore they are, but they're going to love me when it's all said and done because they're probably a little more athletic and a little more explosive than they were a couple weeks ago. But we just finished our first week of practices, and we got our first match September 1st. And
where will that be?
Sherman, Texas. Again, it's Austin College.
So when will you guys be back home? When will people in the Shawnee area have a chance to come out and watch it?
We'll have a scrimmage against Mid-American Christian August 29th, and then after that we're going to be it's the first week of October. I don't have the date on top of my head, but we'll be back home and would love to see as many people out there as we can.
You guys will be playing on campus there at St. Gregory's?
Correct. In the big arena.
Okay. Well, here we go. Number 9, Brittany Wise will be serving, starting off game number 2. Let's see if Shawnee can continue what they started in game 1.
I think the strategy there for Coach Wack was to come out with number 11, Williamson, in her front left position, which means she's going to get 3 cracks at the ball in the front row. And Wise maybe a little nervous starting the game with a serve there. Okay, that's the sophomore connection right there, the future of Shawnee Volleyball. Number 2, Katie Holland passing up to Mackenzie Sparkman over to number 5, Susie Wasson for the kill. I think they'll take that for a few more years. Wasson with the serving here. You know, one of the things that happens a lot of times when you serve so aggressively in your first game, it kind of takes you a little bit to get back into that rhythm of serving. And right now Shawnee's coming out and serving aggressive, and hopefully that'll pay. They'll get their rhythm here and start getting those in.
So it looks so far this game, the natural rotation for substitutions has been after you serve, you come out.
For the libero.
For the libero.
Yeah, for the libero, because she can't serve. So
okay.
So the person she's in for has to serve before she can come in.
Okay.
McQuarrie going back to serve. Again, Shawnee's doing a real nice job of passing, and if they can keep that up and find their serve again like that, they're going to be back in business, hopefully taking game 2 as well. Bonner with a nice dig. But the Wolves are unable to capitalize there.
So it looks like we've gone to 4 back as well to help return with the serve.
Yeah. Bonner with another touch. That's going to go over. She's going to overpass that. Unfortunately for her, number 6 from Carl Albert, Brooke Lane's going to, her hit and block is going to go errants. You typically want to keep the ball on your side of the net because that's a pretty easy kill when the ball's right over the net for your opponent. Williamson back to serve. There's another overpass. I think that play got a little more errant for both coaches than they would typically like. You like a little more ball control.
That kind of seemed like just a little bit of slapping around up there. Just hopefully we'll win the point.
Trying to find out what's going on, but that tends to happen. Nice pass by McQuarrie up to Sparkman.
Tricky.
She goes to the center attack there.
So
Chelsea Ball. Go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Coach. What distance do you want to set away from the net? Because like you said, you don't want to be sitting right on top of the net and give them an opportunity to block you. Do you want to be a foot, 2 foot away?
Yeah, somewhere in there. Depends on your hitters. The higher a hitter can get up, the more that changes. And the other thing too is the closer the ball is to the net, the easier it is to block for the other team. So a lot of times the golden rule is for your shorter hitters, you want to bring the ball off of the net so they don't get blocked as easily. And right there was a prime example. Katie Holland got the ball probably about 4 feet off the net and was able to get up and get a pretty good swing on that.
Right, and I've noticed, in my head, when I'm thinking about volleyball, I'm thinking close to the net, and you want to be on top, just hitting straight down on the ball. But I've noticed there's a lot of technique because our girls may be 4 foot back and may not be as high as the net when they actually hit the ball, but somehow they use that top spin, they get the ball to fall into the opposite court, and I just wish I could do that.
Yeah, I do too. My players do it really well, and I don't know how, but yeah, the trick is to just not hit the ball in the net and not to hit it long. Bonner there going after that ball that might have been out, but you like to see that out of your libero. She's typically going to be your hungriest defensive player on the floor, and you want to be able to get her to chase down as many balls as you can.
Carl Albert up to serve, leading 6-5. Now that went off the net. I guess we're playing it.
Yeah, we're going with it. Wise is going to free that over, and she's going to get a swing at it. Nice dig. Another. Oh. Wolves unable to come up with that one.
So if the serve goes off the net, you're not replaying it. This isn't tennis. There's no lets.
There's
you're
no
playing
lets.
it. If it comes over, you better hit it.
That's right. That's right. Shawnee back to receive. McQuarrie with another receive. Up to Sparkman. Out to Wasson. She gets another good cut. Tips it back over to Sparkman with the dig. Up to Wise. And, oh, she gets blocked. That was just kind of one of those deals where she just had too many blockers in front of her. Didn't have many places to go on that. So you just kind of hope for the best and do what you can.
On change of serve, let's take a break and go to our sponsors. We'll be right back with Shawnee up to serve, trailing 5-9.
Fred's Tire and Battery. They're not just tires anymore. They can help you with alignments or brakes, or of course tires, batteries, whatever problem you have. Give Fred's Tire and Battery a call. Tracy Dilliner over at Select Janitor Supply can supply you with any of your cleaning products, whether it's industrial needs or restaurant needs or even household needs. Select Janitor Supply is your choice. Chris Anthony over at Steve's Body Shop does a great job. Of course, always offers a lifetime warranty on all the work. That's over at Steve's Body Shop right there on Kickapoo Spur.
Katie Holland back to serve. Right down the middle of the court there. They go at the one tempo. And you were just asking a little bit ago about how you hit the ball below the net and get it to land in there. And sometimes that ball was real far below the net, and she still took a big swing at it. So you got to be smart when you're taking those swings, because she hit that ball about 6 feet out. Hitting here for the Titans libero.
That puts us all square, 8-8. I guess I misquoted the score before we broke.
They're going to free ball it over.
So
Bonner
what
with
was
the
the tactic to that, Coach?
To the
Why free ball it over? It seemed like the girl was in position to make a good set if she wanted to, but instead they free balled it over and gave us control of the point.
Yeah, she may not have felt real good where she was at in the court. Maybe she doesn't hit the ball real well from that area. And rather than make a mistake, she figured, you know what, I'm going to get it over and let us try to play some defense.
So just because a girl's in position, she may not be the setter. She may not be comfortable setting someone else when, even though she is just the second hit.
Yeah. And you know, sometimes they feel like they got the defense out of balance or out of control, and they can take advantage of it.
So, Coach, tell me, we'll see here in just a second. We have 2 girls up at net on that service return. Why don't we have all 6 girls back ready to return that? Why only 4? Why only 3 sometimes?
Well, you want to try to get your best serve receivers to pass as many serves as you can. And if one of your best serve receivers is your outside hitter or your left front, you want to bring her back to get in and pass. And right there, is a prime example. We got senior Catherine McQuarrie. She's front row right now, and she's handled the last 2 services. And so you want her to take as many balls as you can if she's one of your more talented receivers.
So is it almost like sticking too many people in one place as well? I mean, 6 people trying to cover the back half of the court almost?
Yeah, and then you get into issues with communication and who's got what ball. And sometimes the fewer the people you have, the easier it is to tell, yeah, I got that ball, you got that ball. She's going to get called on a lip there. A lot of times your lips is just going to be kind of a hit where your hitter had their hands or arms on the ball a little too long and manipulated it a little unnaturally.
So when is that point of a little too long? Like you've caught it and you see that it's a Spalding ball and then you hit it, that's too long? You read if it's made in the USA, that's too long?
Yeah, it could be that, or a lot of times it's your official's discretion. But sometimes, the definition of it would be, you're changing the angle of the ball too drastically, or the ball's behind you. And so a lot of times it's your official's discretion, but sometimes it can get real technical. McQuarrie with a swing. She's gonna use the blockers there, and more or less what you're looking at there. She's just going up and saying block me if you can, and took a big swing, and the blockers couldn't block her.
Shawnee leads 12-11.
Lasso at the serve. Williamson back up at the net big again. Right there, what you saw number 6, Brooke Lane, do. You know, she saw Shawnee get ready for a free ball, and instead of hit it deep right at him, she put it right back in front of him with the tip over the net.
One thing's obvious, Coach. These girls aren't afraid to dive.
No,
they're all wearing knee pads, and they're going for if they're remotely close, they're laying out for it.
You got to play it. The game just moves a little too fast and a little too unpredictable to feel like you don't have to dive to get the ball up. And if it hits the floor, it's a point for the other team. Query with the tip over. Query's going to get a swing again. That's a kill. Catherine's had a real nice, solid game so far. Good in serve receive, pretty smart in her hitting. And it's just a matter if she can keep it up and help get the Wolves to where they need to go with this one.
I have to say, after watching 1.5 games, position seems to be a big factor. If you're in the right place at the right time and covering the area that you're supposed to be covering, that's the best foundation for a good volleyball team, from what I can tell.
That's really what you want to do, and it's like I said just a minute ago, it's such a fast game and it's so unpredictable that you can't possibly be out of position and try to and hope to make a good play. McQuarrie again with a nice swing out of the back row. Ball with a dig up to Sparkman. Out to Katie Holland. That's a kill. Sophomore Katie Holland jumps really well and has got some really nice swings in so far. Williamson's going to go back to serve. Wise is going to come back in. Williamson back to serve. Just misses an ace. Long by about 3 or 4 inches. And the cliche, it's a game of inches. Played in there.
That gives Carl Albert a 15-13 advantage.
McQuarrie with the pass. Back to Sparkman. Ball's going to take a swing at it, but in air. But, again, as a coach, you like to see your players being aggressive. McQuarrie, nice pass up to Sparkman. Going to go to give Wise a shot. She hits the ball wide.
Carl Albert beginning one of those mini runs with a 4-point advantage, 17-13.
And again, last game you saw the Wolves get down by about 4 or 5 points and able to come back and win. Let's hope they can do the same here. There's another quick attack by number 10 for the Titans, J.C. Moore, and she's able to get a kill out of it.
So what about that? That looked like number 9, Brittany Wise, blocked it and then attempted to hit it. Would that have been legal?
Yeah, your block doesn't count as your first contact, so you can hit it again if you need to.
So you're only supposed to touch it once per, but the block doesn't count.
Block doesn't count, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's take a break as we take a timeout with Carl Albert leading 19-13 over Shawnee Lady Wolves.
Fred's Tire and Battery. They're not just tires anymore. They can help you with alignments or brakes, or of course tires, batteries, whatever problem you have. Give Fred's Tire and Battery a call. It's already evident that Allegiance wants to be involved in the community. As our leading cable service provider, Allegiance Communications supports area high school and these area high school athletic broadcasts. Tracy Dilliner over at Select Janitor Supply can supply you with any of your cleaning products, whether it's industrial needs or restaurant needs or even household needs. Select Janitor Supply is your choice. Tower Loans at 21 West Main Street. Get in and let Tower Loans help you in those times of hard times. Up to $750, 8 months to pay it back. That's Tower Loans.
As we return, Coach, I have to correct myself one more time on calling out the wrong score. Carl Albert has a 20-13 lead. Trying to add more.
Trying to add more. And it's easy to lose track in a game like this. You got so many points and so many different ways to score that it's easy to do. McQuarrie comes up with a nice back row attack there. And by what you're talking about in the back row attack is jumping from behind the yellow line and hitting the ball in for a kill. Susie Wasson's going to return, placing Chelsea Ball.
Well, let's see if the Shawnee Lady Wolves can't get on a streak of their own. Down by just 6.
Sparkman with an ace. Again, my players hate me for talking about it all the time, but it deserves mentioning again. It's all about serving and receiving. If you can do one or both, you're going to be in a lot better than if you can do neither. Sparkman back to serve again. Good serve to the corner. Query with the dig. Up to Sparkman, over to Wasso. So he gets a good cut, and the Titans are going to be in the net again. Sparkman back to serve. Looking to extend this mini run by the Wolves.
Down 20-16.
Probably what they're asking about is who is in the net and how are they in the net, because your body has to touch the net. It can't be your jersey, and it shouldn't be called if it's your hair either. But
well, what if your foot crosses the white line under the net?
Well, there's different rules at different levels. For us, you can't interfere, and your foot can't completely cross the white line underneath the net. And so they may be calling that, or I don't know what they're calling, but the Titans weren't happy with it. But they're taking their frustrations out on the Wolves right now, and they're just rearing back and ripping the ball at them and challenging them to come up with some big service heaves like they did in Game 1. J.C. Moore back to serve for the Titans.
Now it looks like she hits the ball with a closed fist. And it also looks like she's throwing the knuckler almost. There's hardly any spin on that ball when it's coming over the net.
Yeah, she's got a floater serve going, and floater serves can be real deceptive because they don't move as quick as your top spin serves, and they don't go down as much, but they move left to right so much that it makes it difficult to pass. And they're a little scary coming at you. Sophomore Katie Holland with a nice serve going after the barrel for the Titans. Sheridan Homer making her overpass and giving McQuarrie a chance to put the hurt on the ball. Holland with another good serve. That's going into the net, and the Titans are unable to handle that one.
The Titans had a 22-17 lead. We've got 2 points in a row now, so we're down 22-19. Trying to make a comeback in game number 2 in a race to 3. Shawnee leading in games 1-0.
Holland with another ace.
Brings us within 2. Let's see if we can't continue this streak.
And
as soon as we say that, the Carl Albert Titans take a timeout to try to slow down the train that is Shawnee, I guess, in coming back and being only 2 points down, 22-20. Coach, while we have an opportunity, tell us a little bit more about the program and how it's starting back up out at St. Gregory's, and just a little bit about the team. Maybe you told me you had some Canadians. I mean, they're coming in from all over to play volleyball in Shawnee, Oklahoma.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of everything. We got some kids from Texas. We've got some gals from Oklahoma. We've got some gals from Canada. And I'm coming from South Dakota, so we're all congregating in Shawnee, Oklahoma. We're going to try to build the program back up, and hopefully we can do some fun things.
So this will be year number 1 for you as head coach and for St. Gregory's.
Correct.
How long has the break been since St. Gregory's has had volleyball, or have they ever had volleyball?
They had volleyball 2 or 3 years ago. I'm not quite sure. But this is my first head coaching job, so I'm excited. I've been an assistant coach for 5 years, and
Well, it's good to have you here in Oklahoma.
good to be here. Holland comes out of the timeout with an ace. That's what you're not wanting as a coach when you call a timeout. You want the
You would hope to come out prepared, wouldn't you?
you want to come out prepared. You want to come out and you hope that the other team has a service error, not a receiving error. So
Shawnee down 21-22 in a race to 25. Got to win by 2.
another good serve. The Titans have been out of system here a few plays in a row. Sparkman with the dig, up to Wise, out to McQuarrie. And McQuarrie has been the hot one this game.
Yes, she has impressed me as far as volleyball players can impress, I guess. She's had the serve, she's had the touch game. I've seen her dig a few. She's just kind of the all-around player.
And being your outside hitter, you want that out of your outside hitters. You want them to be your best ball control kids. You want them to be the most dangerous, and give a chance to your middles to do some good things. Sparkman with a nice dig. Over to Wasso, up to Wise. She takes a cut. Good dig from the Titans, and they set the ball right in the campfire, is what we call that, right in the middle of the court, where a lot of times you hope the ball doesn't go.
Well, that's okay. Shawnee's made quite a comeback to make it a pretty square game, only down by 1. Carl Albert serving, down 23-22.
Senior Nicole Cluck's going to come in and replace Katie Holland. Katie Holland, a nice service rotation there.
So what was that on the last point with it falling and hitting the ground? Was that just miscommunication?
Yeah, that's basically all that is. You want certain players to take that ball, and you hope that they're going to get it. And sometimes they're thinking someone else is going to get it. The old I got it, you got it routine, and more often than not gives the Titans a point.
Well, we hate to see that, but it was hard fought from the Lady Wolves on coming back in game number 2, making it a close game. And we'll take a short break to hear from our sponsors once again while we switch sides and see if we can't take the lead after all the games between Shawnee Lady Wolves and the Carl Albert Titans are all square at 1 apiece.
We are here in the nitty-gritty of District 3 with the Potawatomi County Commissioner, Abby Thompson. So, Abby, I want to know, because this facility is, like we said, way different than the downtown Broadway facility, but how often are you working here versus downtown Shawnee?
So obviously on Tuesdays I try to be at the admin building because we have our commissioner meetings, but usually every other day of the week I do my best to be down here. I love it down here. Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of let your hair down, get dirty, play in the dirt. Yeah.
Yes.
I really do love it down here.
Yes, and being down here and seeing the guys working, answering calls, being everywhere, and yes, they do get a break every once in a while. Don't worry, you guys. Sometimes. But it just made me realize they really are the ones that have to answer these calls and work in winter, rain, summer, shine. You get it.
And I think people forget, some of them take trucks home. If we get calls in the middle of the night, we never stop working. They get called out, they have to go do it. So they work very, very hard. Absolutely.
See, I don't think I realized that they have to work on call and all of that stuff as well.
Yes.
And so it just makes me appreciate, one, I don't come out to mod half as much as I should.
Well, you should.
Yes. Which is where District 3 barn is located, is in Maud, Oklahoma. And it allows me to realize that there's a lot going on all around Potawatomi County. And there are advancements going on around Potawatomi County. So thank you so much, Abby Thompson, for your heart for your county.
We are so blessed. I love our county. We have such great people. I love my crew. I couldn't ask for a better one. And I just want to remind you, girls aren't afraid to get dirty, right?
Yes.
Rhinestones and dirt.
Woo! Yes, I love that. Well, congratulations, Abby Thompson. You're making history while you're a District 3 commissioner, and we are so grateful for how you run the show over here. So
thank you.
Thank you, Abby. Love you. Bye.
Our beef is exclusively available at the Monk's Marketplace. Taste the difference that care and quality make, and visit our serene landscape to pick up your perfect cut.
On Benedict Street, Hardesty's Market and Deli is your go-to for all your local meat needs. It's also the perfect spot for lunch, offering your favorite local sandwiches, dips, sweets, and more. Support locals. Stop by Hardesty's Market and Deli today.
For 50 years, Fred's Tire and Battery has served Central Oklahoma with tires, batteries, and service for cars, trucks, and tractors. Friendly and affordable, with 2 locations in Shawnee. Fred's Tire and Battery, a name you can trust.
Gordon Cooper Technology Center has trade classes for all ages. These programs are not just for our high school students, they are for all ages, and you have the opportunity to get further educated within our community and pick up a trade skill today at Gordon Cooper Technology Center.
A lot of people don't know we started Eric's Pharmacy in 1995. So we've been going strong for over 29 years. We had a chance to spruce things up, put in new flooring, new shelving, and it really came together beautifully. We invite everyone to come by and take a look.
Castor Key Auto Mart. Online or in person. Castor Key Auto Mart. They're good people to deal with.
Here we go, starting game number 3, Coach Case.
Elise Davis is going to serve over. And Shawnee has a passing error, but number 4, Megan Owen, doesn't take advantage of it for the Titans. So the Wolves get a lucky break there. With that said, sophomore Susie Lawson back to serve. Goes after the libero. That's an overpass.
Good reaction. Good reaction.
Williamson gets up, gets a nice clean swing on it, and number 3, Sheridan Homer, picks it up.
The libero.
The libero.
I'm getting better at it, I promise.
Libero, libero, whatever it is, it's a fun position to play and watch.
There you go. You get a special T-shirt too. You can't beat that.
McKenzie gets the attack. Williamson takes another overpass. This time she puts it away. You really want to take advantage when that ball crosses the net. It's kind of like a fast break layup. McQuarrie back to serve.
Here's our server.
Right after Homer. And there you see that floater serve again, and the ball starts out coming right at Homer and then starts drifting out to her left, and she's unable to handle it. That's a great serve, and it's tough to handle.
We'll see if she can start a streak like she had in the first game. I didn't keep count. I wish I would have known, but it had to have been 6, 7, 8 points in a row that she was just rolling them off, serving. Doing a great job.
It was huge, and just like last time, you jinxed her.
That's right. I was just fixing to say that. As soon as I start talking about what a great job she does, she hits one of the nets.
Whatever you do, quit talking about
it. I
it.
apologize.
Here we go, number 5 back to serve. Hannah Moore for the Titans. McQuarrie again with a nice pass. Goes over, but again, Carl Albert unable to take advantage of that overpass. Williamson's going to go back to serve. Bonner's coming out. Wise is coming in. The Titans ready for receive here. Williamson with the serve. Out of system. They're going to get kind of a free ball here. It doesn't matter what that girl's going to do. Brittany Wise was all over her.
So that one looked like it almost hit the rafters during that point. There was one ball, one bump that almost hit the rafters. Is that a dead ball?
No, if it hits the rafters and stays on your side, it's live.
So
but if it hits the rafters and goes over the net, it's out of play.
So you can't use it to your advantage over the net, but if you can recover from it,
See,
like that
just
exactly.
Like that. If it hits the ceiling on your side, you're okay, but as soon as it crosses, you're out of luck.
Well, it looks like Shawnee's taking a pretty good lead here. Had a good streak up on the Lady Titans, 6-2.
Williamson back to serve again. Goes after the libero. They're out of system. They're going to get a free ball or down ball. McQuarrie with another dig up to Sparkman. It's going to go out to Holland, and Holland's going to hit that one errant. That's probably the first real hitting error that Holland's had all game, and for a sophomore in the first game of the season, I believe that's nice. That's a nice thing to see.
It seems like she has a favorite spot, kind of out there on the outside. Now, is that her job, or does she just like a basketball player? She has a favorite spot she likes to hit from.
Well, that's her position. So when they're looking to set people, she's going to set the ball out that way. But hitters definitely do develop tendencies on where they hit better from.
She seems to hit cross court, hitting that opposite back corner is where she seems to like to go with the ball.
And it's a real natural hit because the set's coming at you and you're going out the set, so it's easy to hit that spot. Sparkman with a nice aggressive serve puts Titans out of system.
With a free ball, right?
With a free ball, yep.
I'm catching on, Coach. I'm catching on.
And Wasso with the kill there. Again, another sophomore, Susie Wasso. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right, or I'm going to receive some hate mail.
No.
But another nice kill from sophomore Susie. Sparkman to serve again. Again, the Titans are out of system again, but they're going to get a swing this time. Goes over to Holland. She's going to get the dig, going to get it back, tips the ball over.
Even though she's swinging flat-footed from 10 feet behind the net, that's not a free ball.
That's not a free ball.
She's
it's a down
swinging.
ball, yeah.
Okay.
Wise goes for the swing. The ref calls for a touch there. Holland with the tip. Picked up by number 4. Back to Sparkman. She's going to send the ball back to Susie again. Another dig outside to number 6, and that's a block, but the Wolves are in the net. Titan point.
Well, let's take a break after that to go to a sponsor. We'll be right back with the Lady Wolves leading 8-4.
Shawnee Dry Cleaners and Laundry does great works with all of our clothes. Shawnee Dry Cleaners and Laundry, in at 9, out by 4. That's Shawnee Dry Cleaners and Laundry, right on Independence. Fire Lake Designs, formerly known as D-Graph Sports and Apparel, still does the great quality professional work for all of your banners or embroidery on your uniforms. Use Fire Lake Designs. Sonic, all 4 locations in Shawnee serving great Coca-Cola products, but even better, hamburgers, onion rings, chili dogs, and Frito chili pies. Sounds good? Get by Sonic. ShawneeCTV introduces Video Dan's TV auction on Channel 99 every night, 6 p.m. till midnight. The Red Cross, United Way, Southern Winds Film Festival, and others will benefit. It's easy. It's fun. Make your bid tonight. You have something for sale? Join in the fun. Call us 275-2155 tonight. Video Dan's TV auction. Make a bid. It's easy on ShawneeCTV.
Back to serve for the Titans. She's up, and that's a service error. You like to see that after a commercial break.
You do like to see that. We need to take more commercials. I need to not talk about great serves and take more commercials, and we'll be set.
Katie Holland back to serve for the Wolves. She's going to drop that one in short. Creates an overpass picked up by Sparkman. And Sparkman's going to go for an attack there. Hits
that looked like a little tripping over a teammate there. Like couldn't decide that. What'd you say? The you got it, I got it syndrome.
Sort of, yeah. And you know, with right now, Mackenzie Sparkman's junior setter's back row, which means she's got to play defense first and then come up to the front row to set. And a lot of times, what happens is she's running into, or her hitters are running into each other, and she's having a hard time getting to the ball. And that's her big job. The second contact is typically your setter's ball. Number 10, J.C. Moore, is going to serve errant on that one, and not because of that, but after that, she's going to come out for the libero, number 3, Sheridan Holman.
So is there a natural rotation that takes place? I mean, it's pretty much a set strategy on who will be substituting during a match, or do you pull players if they're hot or cold?
Well, you kind of mess around with that, and you know, you want to try to get the most out of it, but you know, sometimes you got to go with your gut, and sometimes you got to go with your numbers. If you got a player that's a great passer, and you know, statistically supports that, then you got to have her on the floor, you know, regardless. Or if you got a girl that's a real strong hitter, you got to get her out on the floor. So it depends. And you know, in a situation like this, you know, McQuarrie's playing a great all-around game. You got to have her on the floor the whole time. You're not going to put anybody in for her. But if she were hitting really well and maybe not passing very well, when she's in the back row, you might look at putting somebody in for her. So a traditional kind of rhythm is that you have back row players for your poor passers.
So they're just basically returning serve and trying to pick balls out of the ground that are coming over.
Correct.
Aggressive balls.
Correct. And again, McQuarrie with another service lead. And
we talked a little bit about substitution there. You set that up for us. Tell me strategy. How much planning goes into a match? I mean, do you scout the other team? You know what their tendencies are? Or do you almost have set plays that you're running you have, I don't know, 5-6 plays that you run and you vary that up to keep them on their toes, or are you changing strategy in the middle of a match?
Well, yeah, I think it depends on the coach. I prefer to just kind of have a strategy that goes along with the match. Our team trains to do things certain things very well, and we want to do those things as often as we can. And as a result, we want to do some things to put the other team out of system or out of rhythm. So it depends. And then the other thing too is teams have tendencies, like you just mentioned a little bit ago. Holland, she loves to hit that deep cross court shot. So if I'm the Titans right now, every time she goes up to hit, I tell my back left, this is where she's going to hit it. Let's make her hit the ball somewhere else. So there can be quite a bit of strategy, and there can be quite a bit of creativity and spontaneity. It depends on your style, and I think it depends on your team's abilities. And McQueary gets up and takes a big swing there, and number 4, Megan Owen, blocks her, and I don't know if it was able to see it on TV, but that ball was really tight to the net, and because of that, she took a big swing, but it would have been hard to get a kill out of that because it was so tight and so close to the blocker. McQueary with another serve receive. Sparkman's going to take that one herself this time.
Nice touch, changing up the pace there, as Carl Albert had quite a comeback after being down with Shawnee making a nice run at the beginning of this game. They had it back 1 point down, 10-11. Shawnee gets that one, goes up 12-10 and serving, trying to extend that lead.
Senior McQueary back to serve.
And I'm not going to talk about her this
time. There it is.
time.
That was her serve there. She's going to send this one out to Holland. And she's going to get a kill. And again, Megan Williamson still drawing a lot of attention at the net. And, the Titans are kind of waiting for her to get the ball. And right there, Sparkman did a nice job of using her as a decoy and getting the ball to Holland.
Well, it seemed like we really controlled that point. When Carl Albert was making their run back right there, it looked like they had control, had us on our toes, trying to guess what was going to happen. And these last 2 points really look like we're back to what we were doing that first game when we really did well and won.
Yeah, and it's going to go back to serving and receiving again. McQueary's back, getting some nice serves. That's a tough ball right there to receive. I don't care who you are. And, Sheridan Homer, she's having that different color jersey on. I think she's got a bit of a target on her.
Got a target right in the middle of her chest. Well, Shawnee takes a 15-10 lead. We'll see if they can extend that.
McQueary back to serve again. Serves that over to number 2. They're going to send that one back. Bonner with the dig. Sparkman's going to track that down, get it outside to Holland. Over to that corner again that you were talking about. Owens tips the ball over twice, handled once by Williamson. Holland's going to free ball this over. Now it's time for defense for the Wolves. Setter dump, and McQueary read that one perfectly, but just was unable to come up with it.
Carl Albert serve now, being down 11-15.
Number 5, Hannah Moore back to serve. Received by Holland. Up to Williamson, and sometimes those plays are tough to determine what went wrong. Did Williamson get up too high? Was she too late? Was Sparkman? Did she set that ball too low?
How do they know what kind of set they're going to be receiving? I've seen her she'll give a nice high one to the outside. She may give a short one every now and then to Megan. How do they know what kind of set they'll be receiving to time their jump?
Well, they'll talk about that a lot, what they want to do out of certain balls. If a ball's a perfectly passed ball like that one was, your middles know what sort of route they want to run. If a ball's out of system, they know what they want to run, or meaning your setter's got to run and go get it. So
is your setter calling what she's doing?
No, it's kind of a read and react deal. They know where the ball is, and they know what the setter can set. And again, Holland with another kill. She's got 2 kills in a row. And right now, she's getting up and just hitting right over the block. The Titans here got to figure out a way to time their block a little bit better, or to figure out a way to get their back row in line.
Megan's wiping the ball off. A little sweat. Getting a nice dry ball.
Williamson back to serve again.
Guess there's no spitballs in volleyball, huh?
You don't like it. And that's a service ace. Number 7 unable to handle that serve. Elise Davis with the receiving error, and Williamson back to serve again. Again, it's a game of serving and receiving and of streaks. the more streaks you have, I think the better off you are.
I like the streaks we've had, being up 18-12.
I'm looking for more. Williamson up to serve. That's an overpass. And right there, Megan Owen was able to overpower Brittany Wise on that one. And took care of the ball a little bit better. Now back to serve for Owen.
Looks like our libero, number 13, Kristen Bonner's checked back in.
Oh, that's a nice serve. Again, it's serve, receive, and streaks. And you hope right here that Shawnee doesn't let the Titans back on another streak. Nice service there. That's a surefire way to break a streak, somebody's streak.
We'll take the freebies any day.
Mackenzie Sparkman, junior setter, back to serve.
So now she serves on the back row. It's completely legal once the point is started for her to come up and resume her spot as setter.
Correct. As long as she doesn't try to attack the ball over the height of the net. Odd assist in there. That play had disaster written all over it from the word go for the Titans. Number 9 is going to check in. Emily Goff's going to check in for J.C. Moore for the Titans. Sparkman still back to serve with a comfortable lead.
20-14.
Sparkman's with the serve. Handled by number 2. Oh, they're insisting this time. The Wolves play some defense. McQuarrie with the dig. Sparkman over to Wasso. Picked up by the Titans. McQuarrie with another dig. Picked up by Sparkman. Great dig. Great get up by Sparkman. Over to the middle. They're going to get it. Sparkman gets another dig over to Wasso. She's going to send this one outside. That's a tight ball. Holland unable to control her body there. She's going to end up going under the net, giving Titans a point.
After a long point, you hate to lose something like that. It seems like the momentum might have switched just a little bit there. The Carl Albert girls seemed quite excited to actually take a point that there was a lot of battle to.
Yeah,
a big momentum lift.
Those are the points you don't want to lose, but somebody's got to lose them. Otherwise, we'd be stuck at 0 all night. Oh, nice spot by Holland. Again, you saw Holland there hitting from the right side rather than the left side, and probably didn't get the set she wanted, so she tipped that ball over.
Well, to steal a term from tennis, Shawnee broke back. They got the point that they lost 21-15, and while we're getting the ball ready to serve, let's take a break and hear from our sponsors, and hopefully we'll come back and see the Lady Wolves finish out the game 3.
Fred's Tire and Battery. They're not just tires anymore. They can help you with alignments or brakes, or of course tires, batteries, whatever problem you have. Give Fred's Tire and Battery a call. It's already evident that Allegiance wants to be involved in the community. As our leading cable service provider, Allegiance Communications supports area high school and these area high school athletic broadcasts. Tracy Dilliner over at Select Janitor Supply can supply you with any of your cleaning products, whether it's industrial needs or restaurant needs or even household needs. Select Janitor Supply is your choice. Chris Anthony over at Steve's Body Shop does a great job. Of course, always offers a lifetime warranty on all the work. That's over at Steve's Body Shop right there on Kickapoo Spur.
All right, we're back right before the break. The Shawnee Wolves were actually called for a lift, so it's Titans point with number 6, Brooke Lane, back to serve. Our vision was obstructed by the official, and I'm not quite sure what that call was, but no matter what it is, you can't do anything about it now. Titans serve. Handled by Wasso. Sparkman's going to free ball this one over right in front of the defense.
Right into the gap.
I'm going to get real technical here. What we call that play is going after your setter exchange. When you've got a back row setter that's coming up to set, she's going to leave, and that spot's open to hit. So if you can get the ball to hit there aggressively, then you've got a chance of happening there what just happened. So again, that's called the setter exchange.
So you know that the girl serving is running up to the net, so there's an empty hole and nobody's rotated to it yet, so that's where you're going.
Correct. Holland back with the serve. Outside to number 2. Bonner gets a touch on that one, but unable to control it.
Carl Albert with an opportunity to try to make a small comeback, being down 17-22.
Number 4, senior Nicole Cluck, is going to return for Holland. the Wolves and when they've been successful, they've been able to get some momentum and been able to rattle some points off.
Now, Coach, do you have a limitation on substitutions you can make during one game?
There is. To be honest with you, I don't know what the high school rule is. Sometimes it's 12. Sometimes it's 6, depending on the league you're in. In the NAI, the college league we're in, we don't have any. So I can sub as many times as I want as long as it's the right player for the right player. Number 9, senior Brittany Wise back to serve. Wise sends this one long. Gives a look of surprise to her teammates. I don't know what that's about, but number 13, Bonner's going to come back in and replace her. The good news for the Wolves is that they've got Williamson back up in the front row. Let's see if Sparkman gets the ball to her. She gets the ball to her. Gets a good swing, but that's a nice dig by the Titans. Brings it back. Williamson with the block. And that ball there hits the ceiling and comes over the net.
So that's exactly what we were talking about earlier. It was going over anyways, but there's a speaker hanging down. Caught the speaker, went to the other side. Carl Albert, Lady Titans point.
Correct. Number 7, Titans Elise Davis back to serve.
Trying to get the score squared out here.
The Wolves looking to end a Titan run. Serve handled by McQueary. That's an overpass. She sends it back. Dug up. Sparkman with the attack.
Nice touch.
Right in the campfire again. Game Wolves.
Game Wolves. So that gives the Shawnee Lady Wolves a 2-1 advantage, trying to race to 3, best 3 out of 5. So right after these messages, we'll come back with the beginning of game number 4 to see if the Lady Wolves can finish out this match over the Lady Titans of Carl Albert.
Shawnee Dry Cleaners and Laundry does great works with all of our clothes. Shawnee Dry Cleaners and Laundry, in at 9, out by 4. That's Shawnee Dry Cleaners and Laundry, right on Independence. Fire Lake Designs, formerly known as D-Graph Sports and Apparel, still does the great quality professional work for all of your banners or embroidery on your uniforms. Use Fire Lake Designs. Sonic, all 4 locations in Shawnee serving great Coca-Cola products, but even better, hamburgers, onion rings, chili dogs, and Frito chili pies. Sounds good? Get by Sonic. ShawneeCTV introduces Video Dan's TV auction on Channel 99 every night, 6 p.m. till midnight. The Red Cross, United Way, Southern Winds Film Festival, and others will benefit. It's easy. It's fun. Make your bid tonight. You have something for sale? Join in the fun. Call us 275-2155 tonight. Video Dan's TV auction. Make a bid. It's easy on ShawneeCTV.
As we're back for game number 4 with the Shawnee Lady Wolves having a 2-1 game advantage in the race to 3. Coach, you said you had a chance to spend a little time with the Shawnee Lady Wolves coach, Wack. Sorry, excuse me for forgetting her name there for a moment, but Coach Wack, you got some insight onto what they were going to do today.
I did. I visited with Coach Wack a little bit before the game, and she talked about how she felt pretty good about this in terms of they've had a real good summer, and they've been to some really good camps, and she felt like this is the most they've been prepared and the best any of her teams have ever started playing the year. And she thought that they might be able to jump on top of the Titans early and then come back, try to get that mental edge, an emotional advantage right away. And it showed there in game 1. They definitely looked like they were the better of the 2 teams in terms of chemistry. And game 2, I think they had the wheels fall off a little bit, but they were able to put it back in game 3, and now they're looking at closing the Titans out here in a 4-game match.
Well, hopefully we won't trade games. If we do, we still have the advantage on game 5. If we go us, them, us, them,
That's
us.
right. That's right.
We still win. But let's try to close it out in 4. And with number 9, Brittany Wise serving, hopefully we can get something started and get a little streaky and get a big advantage starting out on Carl Albert Lady Titans.
And and again we've got Megan Williamson, the junior middle hitter, up front, in front left right now. So she's going to get 3 rotations in the front row, and hopefully by the time she gets back to serve, the Wolves will have been able to accumulate some points. But right now, I think between her and McQueary, they've been a pretty dynamic duo.
Tell me a little bit about how I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but tell me a little bit about how the rotation works. What's the order of rotation? I don't know if we covered that or not for everybody.
Well, you just rotate, and you're going to serve every 6 rotations. And so every time there's a side out, every time your team sides out and gets to serve, you have to rotate. And you've got to stay in that service order and that rotation, or else it's a side out and a point for the other team.
So in essence, you're starting back right.
Correct.
Three turns across the back row, and then you go to the front row, and you have 3 turns there, and then it's your turn to serve again.
That's right.
Nice block.
That's a huge block by Wasso, by sophomore Susie and Megan Williamson. And you like to see that right away, because a lot of times a big block like that, it really gets in the head of your hitter, and they're not quite sure how they want to handle it. Wasso back to serve. Nice looking serve. Up to the middle. It's going to be picked up by Holland. Out to McQuarrie. Gets a swing.
A little help off the net to fall in for a 2-1 advantage.
Puts that one off the tape, and the Wolves find themselves up, and with Wasso back to serve. That's a service error. She's going to come out in favor of junior Chelsea Ball. The Titans are ready to serve. Bonner's going to take this one. Passed up to Sparkman right in the middle to Williamson. She's going to get a clean swing. And tonight, on a night like this, the way she's playing, if she gets a clean swing, it's going to be a kill.
I like that. Kill.
Well,
let me back up. I like the phrase. It sounds aggressive, it sounds mean, and it just sounds like you just knocked the snot out of a volleyball.
Yeah, and it's fun to hit the ball like that, and it's even funner to get the kill. So, unfortunately, McQuarrie shows up with a service error. Ball back to the Titans. Number 4, Megan Owens going to serve for the Titans. Wolves ready to receive, sorry. McQuarrie with the serve receive up to Sparkman. She's going to set the ball tight. Sets the ball tight to Williamson, but the Titans are in the net. Point Wolves.
Once more, a freebie that we won't turn down.
You never argue about free points. Sometimes you feel a little guilty getting them, especially in a play like that where it's clearly an advantage of the Titans, but you'll take him. Williamson back to serve. Serves over to Homer. They're on a system this one. Looked like it was going way out, but almost found the line.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about, I don't know what the proper term is, how you hit the ball, how you bump the ball. Now, when somebody serves, that ball has pace on it. You don't want to take both those arms and just flail away and hit it up into the rafters.
No, really, all you want to do is just deflect the ball to your setter. You're just trying to turn the ball.
Trying to use the momentum that the ball already has from the serve, right?
Yeah, the served ball has a lot of energy, and you want to turn that energy and redirect it right to your setter. So you technically have to do very little with the ball. A very, very common error is to actually hit the ball out of your serve receive, but that more often than not is going to give you a receiving error.
So how do you handle the different spins? Is there, when you're receiving that serve, if it's got the underspin or it's the knuckleball floater, if it's got that top spin, what are you trying to do when you're trying to get that first bump and set your team up?
Well, you want to get the ball flat on your forearms, and if you get it flat on your forearms, it really doesn't matter what type of spin or no spin it has. You just want to redirect it, but there's a little bit of an issue with the spin bringing the ball down. Sometimes you got to be ready to go down on the ball.
A lot of volleyball that I play and a lot of people play is church league up in the sand pit, and it seems like everybody hits with a closed fist. That's not how these girls are doing it. I mean, there is definitely a technique between the bumping, the setting, the spiking, killing, I guess would be the more appropriate term. There's a lot more to it than you would think.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit earlier about getting the top spin on the ball. And the way you get topspin on the ball is getting your hand around the ball. If you hit it with a fist, you're unable to get your hand around the ball to put topspin on it. And so sometimes when you see people hitting like that, they're either hitting the ball straight down because they jump up a lot higher than I do, or they're just trying to hit the ball somewhere.
Well, as the Lady Wolves take an 8-5 advantage here in game number 4, trying to close out this game and close out the match with 3 games to 1. Let's take a break from our sponsors, and we'll be back.
Fred's Tire and Battery. They're not just tires anymore. They can help you with alignments or brakes, or of course tires, batteries, whatever problem you have. Give Fred's Tire and Battery a call. Tracy Dilliner over at Select Janitor Supply can supply you with any of your cleaning products, whether it's industrial needs or restaurant needs or even household needs. Select Janitor Supply is your choice. Chris Anthony over at Steve's Body Shop does a great job. Of course, always offers a lifetime warranty on all the work. That's over at Steve's Body Shop right there on Kickapoo Spur.
Katie Holland with the serve. Over to number 7 for the Titans. The Titans are a little out of system here. McQuarrie with the dig over to Sparkman. She's going to send it back to McQuarrie with the cut off of the blocker. Dig by the libero.
The I got it, you got it.
Yep, and you know, the funny thing on that play was the libero, Homer, actually passed that ball up into the rafters and then acted like she was going to hit it again, which would have been a double contact and clearly illegal, but kind of, I think it kind of threw her teammates off a little bit. But I guess you'd rather try to play every ball than play no balls. Katie Holland back to serve. Another good-looking serve. Short set to the middle. And there, you know, just the speed and the quickness of that set had the Wolves defense having a hard time adjusting. Number 7, Elise Davis back to serve for the Titans. Wise with the pass out to McQuarrie. Going to get a good swing. Again gets blocked. And right there, the Coach Wack up immediately talking to her players about covering their hitters. And what I mean by that is you get in and you make sure that if your hitters get blocked, that your teammates are there to pass the ball up. Coach Wack clearly unhappy. Going back to McQuarrie, though, she's going to get another swing. This time gets the kill.
And the girls were there to pick up the block. They were there. It seemed like the whole team ran to position listening to Coach.
And that's exactly what you want to have happen. And as a hitter, it gives you a lot of confidence that, you know what, I go up and swing at the ball. And
backup's behind me.
Yeah,
they've got me covered.
If I get blocked, I get blocked. But, you know, in that time you saw McQuarrie go up and take a good swing and was able to use the blocker.
Shawnee Lady Wolves lead 10-7.
Nicole Cluck comes in this match and is going to serve, looks like, for Brittany Wise. Comes in, gets an ace on her first serve. You know, they talk about in basketball, sometimes it's, for shooters, it's tough to come off the bench and come in and start hitting jump shots. Well, it's the exact same thing with serving. It's tough to sit on the bench, you know, for 12, 14, 15 points.
Not hitting a ball like that since warm-up.
Yeah, it come in and you know, serve the ball and you know, hit it well. So she was able to get an ace on a Titan ball handling error. Coach for the Titans.
Looks like we're getting a little clarification on what the violation was.
Yeah, the coach of the Titans trying to figure out what the call is, and I think what the official saw in that was just kind of a carry again, where the girl kind of had the ball in her arms a little bit too long, and you know, that's really up to the official there. It's a discretional call. Cluck back to serve again. It's another serve. This one's going to be overpassed.
Nice job.
Kill. Oh. All right, they got Williamson on the net or over the net. I was actually going to mention that I thought she kind of went over the net on that one.
I thought you could go over the net.
You could go over the net as long as it's the third contact from the other team, or it's an attacked ball. That ball was passed tight on the net, and you got to give your setters a chance to set the ball. So McQuarrie with the serve receive, right back to her, and she's going to get a kill. Again, we see the give and go. McQuarrie passes. Sparkman says, that's a great pass. I didn't have to do anything. Here, take it back and try to get a kill out of it. Susie Wesson back to serve. Titans are going to be out of system here. Holland with the dig. Over to Sparkman. Out to McQuarrie again. Gets a swing. Goes off the top of the block. Free ball. Here we go again. Cluck up to Sparkman. Back to Williamson on the slide. Ball's overpassed. Going back to Sparkman. Quick set to Williamson. Ball goes off the block. Dug up by number 7. Going to free ball it again. Here we go. Sparkman with the set. McQuarrie with the tip shot. And to use the baseball adage, hits it where they ain't.
Hits it where they ain't.
That was
quite a momentum-building point there. That seemed like a lot of hits took place.
Great change of pace by McQuarrie. She hit the ball, and then tips the ball. Great job there. That's a nice point to win. McQuarrie with the dig, and Williamson's going to be called for another ball handling error. Number 5, Hannah Moore back to serve for the Titans. Cluck, Holland, and McQuarrie receiving for the Wolves. And if the ball's short, Chelsea Ball's probably going to see some action as well. McQuarrie with an overpass, but it's not an ace. Up to the setter, to the outside hitter. She's off the net a little bit. Cluck with the ace, or with the dig.
Nice.
And McQuarrie gets a down ball kill. But what I mean by down ball is she just stays on the ground and gets a good swing out of it and was able to find the quarter.
Well, that was evidence of her really being aware of where the opponents were on the court, knowing where the open spot was and being able to have the presence of mind to hit it there.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want out of your seniors and your better ball control players. And as an encore, McQuarrie comes up with a service ace.
What better way to top it off?
Let's see if she can keep going here, and the Wolves can find themselves a way to win this fourth
Once again,
game.
I'm not going to say anything.
Well, you don't need to. She's going to get a good serve in. The Titans are going to be out of system, and they come up with a hitting error again. That play had disaster written all over it for the Titans, and out of control there.
Looks like the Carl Albert Lady Titans are going to take a timeout to try to slow down the onslaught of just Lady Wolves' good, solid volleyball. As we take that timeout, let's take a moment to hear from our sponsors, and we'll be back hopefully to see the end of game number 4 and the end of the match with the Shawnee Lady Wolves closing it out 3-1.
Fred's Tire and Battery. They're not just tires anymore. They can help you with alignments or brakes, or of course tires, batteries, whatever problem you have. Give Fred's Tire and Battery a call. It's already evident that Allegiance wants to be involved in the community. As our leading cable service provider, Allegiance Communications supports area high school and these area high school athletic broadcasts. Tracy Dilliner over at Select Janitor Supply can supply you with any of your cleaning products, whether it's industrial needs or restaurant needs or even household needs. Select Janitor Supply is your choice. Tower Loans at 21 West Main Street. Get in and let Tower Loans help you in those kinds of hard times. Up to $750, 8 months to pay it back. That's Tower Loans.
Serve. That's an overpass. Williamson up to handle that one. Doug. Outside to Holland. That's going to be dug up again over to the Titans setter. Back row. She's going to get called for a double contact.
Now, I was blocked by the ref. What was the double contact?
A double contact on your setter means that the ball's not contacting your setter's hands at the exact same time. So the ball's kind of moving around in your setter's hands. And McQuarrie just swinging away on the serves. And Williamson with the big block. That's a great, well-timed block by Williamson. Got up high and gave the hitter nowhere to go with that ball. And you like to see that, especially when you got a server serving well. McQuarrie, nice serve again. Going to be attacked by the setter. This time she catches the Wolves off guard.
Now, what was that? Was that just a good play by the Lady Titans, or was that anybody out of position on our side?
Kind of a combination of both. You want your front left kind of defending your setter a little bit better than that when they're blocking. But give credit to the Titans. That was a nice play. Number like she's done a few times tonight. Megan Owen comes up with a great offensive play or a great defensive play, and then goes back and does some nice serving. So let's hope that the Wolves can break her service real quick here before she gets the Titans back in. Owen serves the ball over to McQuarrie. McQuarrie with a nice pass. Williamson's going to take a down ball. Yeah, the Titans are out of system here. Going to get a bad swing out of that. And number 9's unable to handle that. Emily Goff
If I'm not mistaken, that gives us a 19-11 lead.
And that's what that's what the Wolves need right now. Is they want to keep the pressure on the Titans and see if we can figure out how to win this one.
As Coach Wack takes a moment to dry the ball off.
Well, it's about 115 in the gym tonight, and you get out there and you're moving nonstop. You'll find yourself sweating quite a bit. And so
it's just a little warm in here tonight.
Williamson with the serve. Down ball by the Titans. McQuarrie with the dig over to Sparkman. Out to Holland again. And she gets a nice looking swing again with the kill, and the Titans were in the net again.
There's that natural outside cross court hit that you've been talking about.
And the nice thing that Holland did there was she actually cut that shot a little bit. And what I mean by that is she changed the angle a little bit. She still went cross court, but she didn't go directly to the corner.
Went short.
And she may have caught the Titans off guard there. Williamson tries to go long on that serve, and she goes a little bit too long. But again, I think you're better off being aggressive than being passive, especially with a lead.
Number 13, Kristen Bonner, the libero, checks back in. I love that word. I just can't get over it.
Libero. McQuarrie with the receive. Over to Sparkman. Sparkman gets that ball up to Wise. Wise gets a nice attack on that. Wolves recover from the down ball. Sparkman sends that one over to the TV booth, and that's out of play for the girls.
I almost had my opportunity to get in the game there, Coach.
Well, if you're going to play the ball, Britton, you got to call it. You got to call for the ball, and I just want you to know that.
That was all that information you've been telling me, how to play, strategy. It was just, there were millions of things rushing through my mind.
Soaking it up. Wise passes up to Sparkman. A nice-looking pass from Wise. Sparkman goes to the attack. The Titans go for the swing, and it looked like Wise blocked that ball. And unfortunately, she's going to be mad when I tell you this, but that ball wasn't going to cross the net anyways.
Now, would I be out of place to say that it looks like the Lady Titans are just kind of empty? They just look like they're ready to go.
They're real out of rhythm, really off balance, and you'd like to see them finish this one strong. And if the Wolves keep serving like that, they might find their way back into this. And again, it's such a game of streaks that a little bit of a break, and you're right back in it. So the Wolves got to be strong here and recover from that service error. McQuarrie takes this ball, puts it up to Sparkman. They're going to give it back to McQuarrie for the down ball. She hits that right into the net. And just like that, 2 errors in a row. You got to be careful. You can't let your opponent right back in it.
Lady Wolves still lead 21-15. But you hate to see Carl Albert Lady Titans get on any kind of streak.
Yeah, Holland with the receive. Passes the ball up pretty good, and Sparkman unable to handle that pass. Puts it a little tight. Jessica Wack's going to take a timeout.
Coach Wack sees that the Lady Titans are on a small roll, going to try to break the pace here as we lead 21-16. Let's take this opportunity just one more time to Coach Case plug what's going on at St. Gregory's.
Well, the freshman orientation started on today, 8/18 or August 18th, and we're going to start school up next Tuesday. And from there on, we're going to play a lot of volleyball, the volleyball team, and we're going to keep plugging away. We got to, like I said, we've got a bunch of kids from all over the country and all over North America, if you will, and we're just going to keep having a good time and try to come together as a team and build things up.
How many matches as a collegiate team will you guys play?
You'll play anywhere between 25 and 40.
So quite a few.
Yeah,
that's over one semester.
That's it. Yeah, we'll start September 1st, and we'll be done in second week of November.
Well, excellent. I hope everyone watching the broadcast hears a little bit about what's being started back up out at St. Gregory's as far as volleyball goes, and has an opportunity to go out and take a little time to take the fam and go watch some.
Yeah, we'd love to see you, and hopefully we'll put on a pretty good show. The kids that we got, they're athletic enough that I love watching them in practice, so I hope we see the same thing in matches. Oh, not Brittany Broder. Kristen Bonner with a great save there. Ball's going over McQuarrie's head, and she thought it was going out of bounds, and she had a better look and knew it wasn't going to be there, so she picked that up. And unfortunately, the Titans are on a 4 or 5 point roll.
Yeah, 21-18 is still the Lady Wolves lead. Still have a 3-point lead, but you just hate to see a streak begin like what Carl Albert has going right now.
Yeah. Lasson with the pass. Gets it back to her, and she has a hitting error. And again, if you recall, it started with a service error and then a hitting error, and boom, just like that, the Titans rattle off 6 or 7 points in a row. And they're really putting the pressure on the Wolves right now. Lassen with the receiving. They're out of system. Let's be smart here. McQuarrie with a good swing. Center attack right there. Sets it right in the campfire. Point Titans. And again, it's a game of streaks. It's a weird game to explain, and it's even tougher to predict. And just
what
like
a way
that,
to get a point back. What a way to break a streak and to have a service error and give us an opportunity to serve out the match. 22-20, the Lady Wolves lead, needing 3 points to close out this match against the Carl Albert Lady Titans. Let's see if we can do it.
Katie Holland with the serve. Passes out. Going to get a decent swing. Bonner with the dig out to Sparkman. She's looking for McQuarrie. McQuarrie with the swing.
What a nice hit right down the line where it was empty.
Smokes that one down the line.
That's one of the first ones I've seen go down the line all night.
And that's why it was open. You know, you wonder if the Titans are adjusting their defense to avoid having all those kills cross court, but McQuarrie finds the line and gets an easy kill on that.
Quite the pressure point. You like to see her perform like that.
And Holland with the service ace puts the Wolves in position for the win. Match point number 1.
Well,
Katie Holland serving.
Considering the streak that we just saw the Lady Titans have, you hope we finish it out right here.
Right here.
You'd
You
like
don't want to give them any chance to get back in it. We're going to get a free ball out of this. Holland sends it over. Or Holland handles it. McQuarrie out to McQuarrie for the kill. She hits that ball long. Point Titans. Well, the nice thing, though, the Wolves are still in the driver's seat for 2 more points. They're receiving. The pressure right here really is on the Titans. Service up to McQuarrie. McQuarrie handles it. Over to Sparkman. Back to McQuarrie. Down ball long. No touch. Point Titans.
Maybe tensing up just a little bit here, trying to finish out the match, trying to make sure that you hit good, solid balls, not to give Carl Albert an opportunity to get back in this.
That's a short serve, handled by Wise. Over to Sparkman. Out to McQuarrie. Sparkman over to Wesson. We're going to free ball this one over. Handled by the Titans. Up to the center. Quick set. Doug. Sparkman does a nice job on that quick attack to get a touch. And now really the Wolves have put themselves against the wall in order to win this game. 23-24. Advantage Wolves. Served by the Titans. Service error.
What a way to win.
And this one's in the books.
What a way to end the game. A tight game like that, you end up breaking the streak of the Lady Titans with a service error, and you end up giving the entire match 3 games to 1 to the Shawnee Lady Wolves on another service error. That's got to be tough, but if you're the Lady Wolves, you got to take it.
As a coach, you hate to see that no matter what, so I'm cringing right now a little bit, but it was it was a good match all around. I thought both teams played tough, and the scores reflect that. Game 4 came right down to the wire, and it was good to see the Wolves come on top. I thought they played real well all game.
They did play great, and it was good to be here. This is our first volleyball broadcast. Ever. That's right. That's exactly right. We've done football, basketball, baseball, wrestling, softball. We've done everything. We've done volleyball now. We can add that to the list. And what a show that they put on for us. I mean, we've had great crowd support. It was loud in here. It was ruckus. You could tell that there was energy. Just what a great atmosphere it must be to play women's high school volleyball. What fun that looked like they had, especially to end with a W.
Yeah, it's nice to play well and win. Unfortunately for the Titans, I don't think they played poorly. I thought they played okay, but they're going to walk out of here with a loss. And maybe that was a little bit of home court advantage, but I think the Wolves were a little more prepared in terms of teamwork, and I think they were a little more sharp with their ball control, and that's going to equal a W for them.
Well, you can tell that they're well coached. It looks like they've done this. They went to camps all summer. They did different things preparing for this season. They played a great game. I mean, we've got some really dominant players, some team leaders, and they were in position. It looked like the mechanics were good. I mean, from a non-volleyball perspective, it looked like they really had it together and played a great match.
Yeah, I think if you looked at the stat line here, Megan Williamson's going to have some good numbers. Catherine McQuarrie's going to have some good numbers, and Mackenzie Sparkman is going to have quite a few assists. And then on top of that, I think Kristen Bonner's going to have a lot of digs, and those are your players that you expect to deliver every night. When they deliver, you're kind of on script.
Well, Shawnee, I hope you had an opportunity to watch the Lady Wolves as we got the W from the Carl Albert Lady Titans, and I hope you take the opportunity to come out here and be a part of the atmosphere and what goes on. It's loud, it's a lot of fun. You can cheer, you can yell. It's a lot of fun. We don't often get exposed to the sport of volleyball here in Oklahoma, but I hope that you see this. I can only say from sitting on the sidelines myself that it's been a blast to watch what's gone on and just to be a part of Shawnee Lady Wolves volleyball.
Have you ever wondered, how does the fire department, the police department, the sheriff's department find my home? Because we all hope that they do not use the same Google Maps and map system we do to find our homes in the case of an emergency. Well, fun fact about Potawatomi County, right here we have our 911 addressing coordinator right here in the downtown Broadway location of the county building. And let me just tell you, the best ladies work here. We have Robin Olson and Raquel Stevens, the best women, and they ensure that your home is found in Potawatomi County on the maps for our fire departments. Now, if you have any questions about where your address is located, they are the ladies to call and contact about your home in Potawatomi County, because we know the rural streets in Oklahoma can be a little bit hectic. So it's great to learn that we have a local access point right here to ensure that we are found safely in case of an emergency. And it is amazing that we have this resource right here in Shawnee, Oklahoma. Thank you so much, Potawatomi County, for this resource. Now, they do not dispatch here. I do want to add that on. They don't dispatch from this building, but they do work with dispatching as well to ensure extra that you are safe and you are found. Thank you so much again, Potawatomi County, for this resource, and Raquel and Robin for doing the amazing work that you do every single day. Goodbye, everybody, and call Robin and Raquel if you have any questions about your address within Potawatomi County.
Our beef is exclusively available at the Monk's Marketplace. Taste the difference that care and quality make, and visit our serene landscape to pick up your perfect cut.
On Benedict Street, Hardesty's Market and Deli is your go-to for all your local meat needs. It's also the perfect spot for lunch, offering your favorite local sandwiches, dips, sweets, and more. Support locals. Stop by Hardesty's Market and Deli today.
For 50 years, Fred's Tire and Battery has served Central Oklahoma with tires, batteries, and service for cars, trucks, and tractors. Friendly and affordable, with 2 locations in Shawnee. Fred's Tire and Battery, a name you can trust.
Gordon Cooper Technology Center has trade classes for all ages. These programs are not just for our high school students, they are for all ages, and you have the opportunity to get further educated within our community and pick up a trade skill today at Gordon Cooper Technology Center.
A lot of people don't know we started Eric's Pharmacy in 1995. So we've been going strong for over 29 years. We had a chance to spruce things up, put in new flooring, new shelving, and it really came together beautifully. We invite everyone to come by and take a look.
Castor Key Auto Mart, online or in person.